Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're counting down the top 10 fantasy anime with an overpowered main character. From magic academies to other worlds, these anime prove that sometimes it's good to be the strongest. So grab your snacks, hit that like button, and let's jump right in. 10. Chillin' in my 30s. For more than 30 years, Daryl has been a loyal soldier in the Demon King's army, having been raised by Grambarza, one of the 4 heavenly generals. However, as Daryl lacks any magical potential, he is nothing but a disgrace in the eyes of Grambarza's son, Bash Barza, who fires Daryl right after assuming his father's position as a general. Stripped of a home and a job, Daryl wanders the forests, where he stumbles upon a human girl named Malika running from a monster. After Daryl intervenes to help Malika, she invites him to stay at her village in return. There, he discovers that the reason he has zero suitability for magic as a demon is that he is, in fact, a human. However, Daryl is no ordinary human. Possessing potential that far outweighs even heroes, Daryl may soon find himself involved in the humans and demons' seemingly never-ending conflict, facing against the race he once considered allies. 9. Suppose a kid from the last dungeon. A long time ago, the ancient saviors of humanity founded a village as their haven, with their descendants said to assist humanity in times of extreme chaos. This village, Kunlun, is located just beside the infamous Last Dungeon, a place where monsters of unimaginable strength reside and which serves as the hunting grounds for Kunlun residents. Despite being accustomed to defeating powerful enemies since childhood, Lloyd Belladonna regards himself as the weakest in his village in terms of magic, strength, and intelligence. Even so, to fulfill his desire of becoming a soldier, he goes to the Kingdom of Azumi to enroll in its military academy. However, as someone whose upbringing defies common sense, Lloyd's innate power might just prove to be the key to end the crises enveloping the kingdom. The Asen newbie adventurer. Determined to pursue his glorious childhood dreams, 30-year-old Rick Gladiatol, a modest clerk in the Adventurers Guild, is offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity after he fatefully encounters the dark elf Rionette Elfolt. Rionette happens to be an elite adventurer of the legendary party Orichalcum Fist, whose members welcome Rick under the condition that he follow a Spartan training. 2 years later, Rick is finally ready to take the E-rank exam, officially qualifying him as an adventurer. However, raw magical power can only be developed until one turns 20. As such, Rick faces the general hostility of fellow participants and examiners alike, leaving him no choice but to show the world that his hellish training has turned him into an invincible warrior. 7. The most notorious talker. Noel longs to be a seeker like his heroic grandfather, slaying the beasts that emerge from abysses and exploring far-off lands. Unfortunately, it turns out he's nothing but a measly talker, a job with no combat skills whatsoever. Undaunted, Noel sets out to establish the strongest clan in all the land, using his silver-tongued talker skills to unite assassins and heroes under his leadership. 6. Shangri-La Frontier. High school student Rakuru Hizutome has a peculiar hobby of playing poorly made games, ones that are unbalanced or are filled with so many bugs that make them borderline unplayable. The few who share his hobby might recognize him by his in-game name, Sunraku. For his next game, Rakuru is recommended Shangri-La Frontier, a popular and well-received virtual reality game as a breather from the terrible games he has been playing recently. Once he boots up the game, Rakuru decides to sell off most of his starting gear to gain extra money, leaving himself with only a pair of boxers, a bird mask, and some weapons. He is instantly hooked as he meticulously levels up his avatar. However, after encountering some intimidating monsters, he realizes that he may have underestimated the challenge that a mainstream game can offer. As Rakuru progresses, he must draw on all the skills he has perfected from his previous gaming experience. Before long, Sunraku's eccentric playstyle takes Shangri-La Frontier by storm. 5. Martial magic and muscle. In this magical world, one is easily identified as having magical abilities by a distinctive mark on their face. Those unable to practice magic are swiftly exterminated to maintain the magical integrity of society. However, deep within a forest lies an anomaly in Mash Burndead, who can be found pumping iron with one arm and lifting a cream puff with the other. This aloof boy with superhuman strength, but no magical abilities, leads a quiet life with his father, far removed from society. Mash's peace is soon disturbed when the authorities discover his lack of magical powers. They issue him an ultimatum: compete to become a divine visionary, which would force everyone to accept him, or be persecuted forever. To protect his family, he enrolls in the prestigious Easton Magic Academy, which only the most elite and gifted students are allowed to attend. Now, Mash must overcome his shortcomings as a magicless being and surpass the other students, relying solely on his muscles. For the strongest magician in the Demon Lord's army. Under the tutelage of the great demon warlock Romberg, Ike grew up with knowledge regarding an ancient advanced civilization that once ruled the land. Coupled with his innate talent in magical arts, this upbringing allows Ike to quickly rise in the Demon Lord's army ranks, leading his brigade to consecutive victories against humans. However, Ike has a secret: he is a human himself. Despite knowing all too well the consequences if this information is ever to leak, Ike is willing to face such immense danger to achieve his goal. Find a way for humans and demons to coexist and stop the war that has been carried on for far too long. 3. I'm quitting heroing. When Demon Queen Echidna begins her invasion of the human realm, the people turn to the hero Leo Demonheart to protect them. Blessed with insurmountable power, Leo easily repels Echidna's army, thereby saving the world. But instead of gratitude or admiration, Leo is met with disdain and scorn from his fellow humans, who fear his overwhelming strength and believe that it may eventually cause humanity's demise. Banished from the kingdom he once called home, Leo wanders aimlessly throughout the land until, one day, he hears rumors of Echidna's efforts to rebuild her army. Hoping that demonkind might accept him as an ally, he returns to the Demon Queen's castle and offers Echidna his help. Naturally, Echidna immediately rejects him. Still, not all hope is lost, as Leo manages to convince Echidna's 4 generals to let him secretly work under their supervision. Donning the identity of a masked dark knight named Onyx, Leo solves the demon army's problems one by one, gradually improving the quality of life around the castle. Above all else, however, Leo wants to accomplish one goal: to learn why Echidna started the war in the first place. 2. Frieren Beyond Journey's End. During their decade-long quest to defeat the Demon King, the members of the hero's party, Himmel himself, the priest Hyder, the dwarf warrior Eisen, and the elven mage Frieren, forge bonds through adventures and battles, creating unforgettable precious memories for most of them. However, the time that Frieren spends with her comrades is equivalent to merely a fraction of her life, which has lasted over 1,000 years. When the party disbands after their victory, Frieren casually returns to her usual routine of collecting spells across the continent. Due to her different sense of time, she seemingly holds no strong feelings toward the experiences she went through. As the years pass, Frieren gradually realizes how her days in the hero's party truly impacted her. Witnessing the deaths of 2 of her former companions, Frieren begins to regret having taken their presence for granted. She vows to better understand humans and create real personal connections. Although the story of that once memorable journey has long ended, a new tale is about to begin. 1. Solo leveling. Humanity was caught at a precipice a decade ago when the first gates, portals linked with other dimensions that harbor monsters immune to conventional weaponry, emerged around the world. Alongside the appearance of the gates, various humans were transformed into hunters and bestowed superhuman abilities. Responsible for entering the gates and clearing the dungeons within, many hunters chose to form guilds to secure their livelihoods. Sung Jinwoo is an E-rank hunter dubbed as the weakest hunter of all mankind. While exploring a supposedly safe dungeon, he and his party encounter an unusual tunnel leading to a deeper area. Enticed by the prospect of treasure, the group presses forward, only to be confronted with horrors beyond their imagination. Miraculously, Jinwoo survives the incident and soon finds that he now has access to an interface visible only to him. This mysterious system promises him the power he has long dreamed of, but everything comes at a price. And that's our list. Did your favorite overpowered hero make the cut? I'd love to know which unstoppable MCs you'd add. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss more awesome anime lists. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.